Now we're going to look at some audio options in the audio editor. As you can see, I have a microphone track set up here so that we can do a little bit of recording here in a second and see how some of these options work. Let's go ahead and close the library and click on the editors button so that you could see the audio editor appear at the bottom. We'll click and drag this up so we have a little more room to work with. And on the left hand side, you can see the audio editor options. The first is a show and hide flex time button, which will let you manipulate the timing of your arrangement. We'll look a little more into that here in a second. And the catch playhead button, which basically follows the playhead if it moves off screen. So we'll leave that selected. There are two buttons, track and region. If you have track selected, it's working on the whole track. And if you have region selected, it's working on the region that you're working on. Let's go ahead and make a basic recording. Now, I'm no perfect singer, so I'm just going to do something simple and beep to each bar so that you can hear some options as we go through these. Beep, 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 beep. All right, let's hear how that sounds. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, now we'll go ahead and click on the track button. And the first thing that we see here is pitch correction. And what this is going to do is it's going to try to match the notes that I sang to the closest actual real note. So if I'm a little sharp or flat as I say those notes, it will try to line them up to the closest semitone possible. So 0 means there's no pitch correction going on, and 100 is 100% trying to get it to the closest note possible. So let's listen to that and see if we can hear a difference. We'll go ahead and turn on the cycle button so this will just keep repeating for us. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, so with pitch correction all the way at 100, you can hear kind of a mechanical sound because GarageBand is trying to figure out what the closest note is that is being sung. You can also select limit to key to try to keep the notes within the key that you're working in. So here we're in the C major key, so we'll try to line up these notes to actual C major notes in that scale. Let's hear how that sounds. Beep, 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 beep. So those were more closer to actual notes within the C major scale. And that is how you do pitch correction. And when you hear about auto-tuning and things like that within the pop and hip-hop music genre, this is what they're talking about. They're using this as kind of a stylized effect on their voice to create this certain aspect of that musical sound that they're going for. Go ahead and turn this down and turn off limit to key. And the next option is enable flex. When I click this button, you can see that it is still highlighted, but it becomes dark. And I have a different type of cursor with these 3 squares. And what happens is when I click, it divides this up into 3 segments. And wherever the middle is, if I click and move it, it's going to squash or stretch the audio waveforms around it to kind of change the timing and tempo of this audio waveform so that I can line this up or create a different effect by making the waveform longer or shorter. This is also used when we begin dealing with time quantize, which we're about to look at here in a minute. So let's go ahead and deselect Enable Flex. And let's click on Region. And this is working on this specific region. The first thing we have here is the name of the region that we can change. And you can see that name here and at the top in the tracks area. And you might want to have different regions have different names within the track. So you could have verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, and what have you. We can also reverse playback, which is always fun. Beep, 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 Okay. Now let's look at time quantize. First, we'll zoom in. And you can see that not all of these lined up exactly on the beat. So 2 was pretty good, 3's off, 4's off. And we want to automatically adjust these notes to land on the beat, and we use that with time quantize. So if I select this drop-down menu, you're going to see where I want to match up the closest note to, whether it be the whole note, the half note, quarter note, eighth note, and what have you. We want to land these on the beat, so we're going to use the whole note. And what happens is the program tries to find out where the audio is starting. So as you can see, it's made these lines right where it believes the audio begins, and it's going to move these based on that line to the closest note that we select within the time quantize. And the strength is going to tell us how closely we want to get, how much we want to adjust the audio waveform to make it land there. So let's go ahead and pull that all the way up. And when I do, you can see everything adjust forward, and it actually matches up that line, which is the start of each note, to the beat. So now it's landing directly on the 3, directly on the 4, directly on the 2, directly on the 1. Let's listen to that, because now it's actually more in time. Beep, 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 beep. So this is a great way of, say, playing a musical instrument, and maybe you hit all the right notes, but they weren't in the right time. You could come in here and easily adjust those notes to the closest note that you would like. And it can be triplets, it can be half notes, 16th notes. You can just adjust the audio to that closest timing. Another thing that you can do is you can transpose this. So if you maybe need to transpose the music or the instrument that you're playing, you can do that with this slider at the bottom. And these are based on semitones. So each one is a semitone. So let's listen to that. And if we keep follow tempo and pitch selected, it will try to keep the tempo and the pitch of what you have the arrangement set to at the top. So we're going to hit play. Beep. And we'll adjust this. Beep. 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 As you can see, as I adjust the transpose up, it's moving the key up.
Beep. 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 Beep.
Okay, let's stop that. And you can also adjust it down also if you want to make the transposition lower.
Beep. 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 Beep.
So that is how you adjust audio waveforms within the audio editor, and some of the cool tools that GarageBand offers to do that. These options give you the ability to change the transposition, change the key, the pitch, the timing of your audio files. And this is really great, especially if you're working with music, because you're able to, play a part, and if you really like the part, but maybe some notes were off beat or off tempo or key, you can go in and change those very easily within the audio editor.